What's up, guys? It's episode 14 of the DCXP podcast. I am Mike, joined by Joe and Savannah. As always, it's been a while. It's been a little bit, but a lot has happened. And we'll get to everything, but including Savannah Steelers losing. They now have one loss.
I thought we were going to skip over that part and just completely forget it happened, move on, and let's talk about the
No.
49ers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
have some audio I want to play from the last podcast. I'm glad I found it. We'll do that when we talk about the game. Joe also wrote a piece on DCXPblog.com. You can go check that out. And this is being done on a Saturday, so the shelf life of this podcast in relation to the WFT is probably short, but there's other stuff we'll talk about also. But let's talk about the small stuff first with the teams. The Nationals, Adam Eaton is no longer a National.
No, he's not, and we'll miss him.
We'll miss him. He played. I kind of brought up his baseball reference page. He's actually going back to the White Sox where he came from. So he's going back to Chicago on a kind of a cheap deal. But he had really only, if you remember, he got injured his first year. I want to say he tore his ACL. And then played 95 games the second year. And then the World Series year, he played 151 games. And as we remember, he had a lot of good moments that season. And he had some big moments in the playoffs in the World Series. So thank you, Adam Eaton, for your service. I don't know if anybody has a favorite Adam Eaton memory. Mine's just he hit a home run in the World Series. That was awesome. I just remember that.
Yeah. The way I see it with him is, even though he lost his season to injury the first year he was here, he did what he had to do, right? So he came here. The job was to win a championship. He did that. Thank you for your service. We're on to bigger things. He's on to bigger things. We're good to go.
It is kind of like Lucas Giolito is now a stud. So it's kind of like, oh, we kind of need you now. It's the same thing with the Capitals and the Philip Forsberg trade. Now, they won a Stanley Cup, but I was like, you still could have like one of the best young goal scorers in the game. And you probably would have won a cup with him too. So it still bothers me a little bit that we gave up somebody else. But yeah, thank you, Adam Eaton. But the other thing I wanted to get to, and this is kind of old but still funny, Juan Soto is actively recruiting people on Instagram. And it's the funniest thing ever because the MLB put out DJ LeMay, who where's he going, and Washington was one of the targets. And Juan Soto comments just a bunch of eye emojis on it. And then him and Gleyber Torres from the Yankees are getting into it, like who's going to get him. And if you can go to Google Translate to translate their tweets, but it's just a back and forth, like, nah, he's staying. No, he's coming to us. And then I think he did the same thing with Trevor Bauer, who's a pitcher for the Reds, and he's a free agent, which I'm still waiting for these big names to kind of go places.
This is exactly why I love Juan Soto. Get involved on Twitter, be funny, talk to people, create a stir, get your name in the headlines for all positive things. He's actively recruiting stars. Okay, awesome. I just love Juan Soto so much. I want the best for him, and I want all these good people to come play with him.
And when's the last time? I think we think about this with other teams. Well, first of all, the Washington football team hasn't been relevant to recruit stars. John Wall never really did it too hard. And then it's cool to have a superstar, I think, who's getting more recognition on a national level. Be that guy like, oh, almost like, trying to think of like LeBron. Obviously, Juan Soto is not LeBron James in his sport, but LeBron James just being able to be like, hey, come play with me. And it works. I mean, people take crazy discounts to play with LeBron James, which I still find baffling. But yeah, Juan Soto, keep doing your thing. We're still waiting to see. The Nationals also laid off their entire sales staff.
Yeah, not a good week to work for.
So I'm assuming that just means actually my good friend who's a big Nationals fan, he was saying how the Lerners, their ownership is based in commercial real estate, and that's getting crushed right now. So you have to imagine they're like, oh yeah, we gotta save some money. So probably no fans for at least the beginning of the 2021 season. So I guess that they don't need a sales staff right now. I mean, they're not. I mean, my buddy was a salesperson for the Angels. He got laid off because they're like, we don't really need you. So
yeah,
it sucks. It sucks. I just hope this clears up soon.
Yeah, I don't see the Lerners making a big splash for him, honestly. I think the Yankees are going to keep him. He's like the prototypical Yankee, right? He's
Yeah.
just like a go to work, but doesn't he have a bald head? He chews dip all the time. Like he's the Yankee. So I don't see them unless the Mets, who are willing to spend $1 billion for a player with the new
Well, the Mets
ownership.
apparently are going to. They have their new owner, and he's basically like, I'm going to spend so much money. Now, here's the thing. The Phillies owner did the same thing, and it's kind of backfired. And now they're in financial trouble because they're like, oh, we spent way too much money, and now we have to get rid of people.
Yeah,
I do
and I
have
think
to
the Blue Jays want him too. So
Yeah.
they're battling with a couple teams.
Also,
there.
but I think the other thing is like it's been a national move, probably go after the pitcher rather than the hitter. So I could see them maybe going after Trevor Bauer and being like, just get a stud 4-man rotation and kind of try to win it again with pitching. That's kind of how they've been doing it. So
I
imagine.
don't know how well Trevor Bauer's going to mesh with the guys there. He kind of beats to his own drum, which is fine, and I think it's entertaining. But I was just imagining like him telling Max Scherzer, like, I'm going to be next to you in the locker, in the clubhouse, and I want you to go on video. Max Scherzer's like, literally go F yourself.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
I always remember. I think Savannah, you say you like follow his agent is a woman. I forget her name.
Great.
So yeah, she put out a tweet that was a screenshot of a text with Trevor Bauer, and it's just him saying, "Don't look at Twitter," because he was doing some crazy stuff. So he's a very weird dude for sure. I think he was in the playoffs. He like cut himself on his drone, and he like didn't apologize. I'm like, you're in a playoff run now. You can't pitch.
He lost the World Series for the Indians, and I will forever hold that against him. Not that I'm a huge Cleveland Indians fan, but I feel bad.
I kind of like put him in a vacuum as a player and be like, yeah, if you put him as the 4 starter, like that's like you have 4 aces essentially in your lineup. So it would be kind of fun to think about. But so the Nationals still haven't made any moves, but now we'll move on. We're going to move on to the Washington football team. Savannah, you can't avoid it. Here we go. I have audio, and I hope I lined it up right from the podcast. And I hope it comes through the speaker fine. But this is Savannah saying what she would do if the Washington football team beat the Steelers.
I'll get a DCXP tat right here for the Washington.
It's on. Yep. It's on podcast. She said she would get a Washington football.
I forgot.
Or DCXP tattoo on her neck because we were talking about John Wall's tattoo.
I thought I said I would buy you guys a beer. I don't think I.
Now here's the thing.
Oh my God.
It was a joking conversation, so I'll give it to Savannah. Even though right after she said that, I said it was said on the podcast that's admissible in court. So
it's all coming back to me now, and I won't lie to you. After I watched the game, one of the first thoughts that went through my head, not like, oh my God, my team lost. I was like, what did I bet on the podcast? I was like, oh, it's just a beer. I'm fine. I can buy everyone whatever. No, my ass was like, I'll get a tattoo. I'm not playing in the game.
Tattoo right here, too.
Oh.
No regrets. It's going to be DCXP.
No regrets. That's great. That's a great reference. I got it.
Yeah, we got to get that done, though. So next time you're in town, we're going to
Can you just get like a henna, though? Can you get a henna? Oh, that's so good.
Such an idiot.
This is great. Well, at least you didn't have to shave your head. I mean, that could have been
I knew better than to say
a
that.
tough scene. Yeah.
Oh, God. Can you imagine?
I don't know.
Jesus.
I don't want to.
Okay, well, I'm glad I was listening through and I was like, oh, I have to save that audio somehow. I have to grab it. Anyway, the game happened.
We'll figure that out later.
The game happened. I'll let Joe talk first because he did write a piece on it. Obviously huge win, but like what's the intricacies about it that you wrote about?
I think just the biggest thing is like the defense is coming together. The bookends, Chase Young and Montez Sweat. I mean, I'm looking at Montez Sweat, and I see like shades of Julius Peppers when I watch him now. It's like this guy's legit. Thank God, because everybody's talking about Chase Young. We all know he's legit. But
can I cut you off for a second? So
yeah.
Montez Sweat, if you remember back in his draft year, he was projected a top 10 pick. He was going as high as 4 in mock drafts, and then he had a misdiagnosed heart condition at the combine, which then came back and said no, he's actually fine. But teams had already taken him off their draft board. and he fell to 25, in which the Redskins at the time traded up to draft him. So they essentially got a top 10, top 5 talent at 25. So it doesn't surprise me he's this good. I think it took him a while to figure out like how good he can be, and now he's paired with Chase Young, and it's kind of like, oh, what do we do now? Because we got 2 stud DNs to deal with. But yeah, go ahead.
Right. And then just having Antonio Gibson leave the game the first 5 minutes, it seems like, and then having that weapon out, and then having Terry only catch 2 balls for 14 yards and still come out with a W, still convert those critical third downs. And at the end of the day, it's like, I can't believe Alex is still doing this. We talked like week 3, week 4. What does this mean? Is Alex Smith going to be the starter? And we kind of like shrugged it off like, I don't know about that. But he's competing. He's winning. These guys, like I said, are fighting for him every single play. Check the tape. And this team looks like, I wouldn't want to play them in the playoffs because they've got the formula, the good defense, the veteran quarterback. And, every level is playing extremely well. So.
And I feel like every week you guys, when we talk about, the team and how they make a Cinderella run, you're like, okay, well, we haven't won every game the rest of the season yet. We're on a 3-game winning streak.
Hey, so. and they, I mean, I'll tell you 2 points that are kind of recycled. But if you told me, this whole bit, but if you told me Antonio Gibson I think he had 2 carries, and the carry he got injured on was like a 13-yard, really nice run. I'm like, oh, okay. And then he starts limping out the field. I'm like, oh no. Don't leave. And then he's gone. And then if you told me Terry McLaurin had 14 yards, I'd been like, oh, we lost by 27. Mm-hmm. Like if you told me that was the stat line for those guys. So that, and also, yeah, with them beating the Steelers, like now it's like, oh, we can beat anybody, or we should be able to beat anybody. So yeah,
so like the mindset, yeah.
So that's the thing. I think I was like, yeah, we can win out because Seattle just lost to the Giants. We did the brief thing of looking at each schedule for the NFC East teams. I didn't have Seattle losing to the Giants, and I didn't have the Washington football team beating the Steelers. So that's why you don't predict anything, and people get paid to make crazy hot takes. So
you could just take all these wins at the end of the year and just swap the Steelers win for one of the Giants' losses, right? Because we lost to the Giants twice. Honestly, we weren't supposed to beat the Steelers. You could literally just swap one of those out. Let's move on. Okay, whatever. We lost to the Giants. Now, there's 4 games left, right? You got to beat Seattle or Carolina, and you got to beat Philly. That's like the bare minimum.
But Philly's broken right now.
Yeah, I think they can go 3-1. And, the other thing we didn't talk about was Logan Thomas and Cam Sims playing at like the highest level they've played in their careers. So that's the other reason why
Logan Thomas, I got to dispel this myth. He can play tight end. I know on the radio they make fun of him. He's like, he's not. I'm like, he's playing really good at tight end. Yeah. Now he's really stiff. Like he doesn't have like any wiggle. He reminds me of like a little more athletic Jason Witten. But he had that catch where he got hit, but like in the back before he caught it. Like he's making tough catches, and people were making fun of his hands. I'm like, no, this guy can play, and also he has a cannon of an arm because he's a quarterback. He tossed that ball in the stand. That had to have gone to the upper deck.
Yeah. I mean, who stood out for you guys, though, besides the obvious names? I mean, to me, it's the free safeties and those role players that are playing without Landon Collins. Obviously shorted down there in the secondary, but playing their asses off. So feels good.
Yeah, I think Cam Sims, I think they're talking about, I still would like to sign somebody. And then there's a report that I don't know where these people are hearing this and who their sources are, but they're going to be interested in like Juju Smith-Schuster if the Steelers don't re-sign him, because I guess they have to pick who they're going to tag, either Villanueva, their left tackle, or Juju. And they're not really known for giving contracts to receivers outside of AB. And then they trade him because he went crazy. So, and they have Deontay Johnson, they have Washington, they have Claypool, so they can just be like, hey, Juju, we don't really need you, and we've been doing this for years. So, like, they'll just let him go. I don't know. I don't know if I'm comfortable just saying, yeah, Cam Sims, you showed enough. Because we've done this before. We've had, like, runs where players do good, and the next season they're just like, what happened to you? So, I'm not going to go that far ahead of saying Cam Sims is number 2 receiver, but I think you nailed all the players that played well.
I do.
Well, McKissick had 10 catches.
Yeah.
JD McKetchit. I call him JD McKetchit. If that makes sense.
I wish I started talking so the Zoom didn't catch that.
Horrible pun. Keep going.
Well, not your worst though. I'll give it to you. It was okay.
Okay. Well, yeah, Savannah, you were gonna say something.
Dustin Hopkins, I was out on him real early on, and you know what?
Yeah.
I take it back. I'm sorry. You showed up.
Yeah.
You kicked the ball like you're supposed to. And I don't know if I'm really going to congratulate you for doing your job, but congratulations, you did your job. So Dustin Hopkins, I'm sorry if I ever said anything bad about you. Thanks for coming in clutch.
Yeah, Dustin Hopkins, 3 40-yard field goals.
Yeah. It's like a regression to the mean, right? It's like he does and then he kind of last 5 weeks, it's just been knocking him out of the park. That guy.
And also Heinz Field, a place where kickers miss a lot of field goals. Which
I don't
know if it's the stadium structure, how the wind kind of can get in there, but Dustin Hopkins. And then Alex Smith at the end of the half, they said it was a savvy move. He said he had no idea. He just wanted to get the K ball. I didn't know this. I've watched football my whole life. I didn't know there was a different ball for kicking.
Oh yeah,
I didn't know. Well, I mean, it's the same ball, but they like rub it down and stuff, and they make it a different texture. I didn't know that. I'm like, what's the K ball? I've never heard that term before.
No, typical move for a veteran quarterback. Typical press conference response from Alex Smith. Just always so savvy. He's been there before. He knows how to talk to the media. That was obviously on purpose. There's no way it wasn't.
There's a great screen grab of like him running off the field, and it's like he's not smiling. It's like almost like a half wince.
It's a wince, yeah.
It's a wince, but like somebody screen grabbed it, and it's all blurry around him. It's like, hey, when you like cheat to beat the best team in football or something like that. It was kind of funny. Also, Alex Smith got cleated and was bleeding out. That was disgusting.
Yeah.
And the way he described it was even more disgusting. He's like, I saw it visibly like oozing out. And I was like, that's gross. I was like, damn, are these guys...
He doesn't think it's gross because like he's seen his leg like literally cut open.
Yeah.
Everybody freaked out. Everybody's like, "Oh my god,
it's like a grenade hit my leg," so I don't really care about
bleeding, guys. Relax.
Also, people need to not share those pictures anymore. Somebody was like, somebody said, "Oh, I know he's doing well and stuff, but I just want to remind everybody where he came from." Like, we know, we've seen
the same tweet. Yep.
I was like, we know, we don't have to see that.
There's been so much talked about.
That was so gross.
That tweet got flagged by Twitter. They're like, stop sharing these photos. Good. Take this down.
But yeah, so we kind of talked about the NFC East race. I think it's a two-person race, obviously. The Cowboys are done. They just got ran over by the Ravens. And then so yeah, I think who are we giving the edge to? Washington or New York, if you had a gut pick, because they have to finish one game ahead of them, by the way, because they don't have the tiebreaker.
I'm going New York because then I can be pleasantly surprised if Washington goes ahead, but like my gut's telling me New York, so I'm just gonna go New York.
I'm conditioned to just be like, oh, it was a great win, but it's just not gonna mean anything at the end. Like I'm conditioned to think that way, but if they go and beat San Francisco, which we'll preview real quick, but if they go and beat them, like not handily, but like they look like a football team that is competent still and beats them, I'll be like, okay, I guess they're doing well now. I think I saw a thing that said Alex Smith, his not at PFF ratings mean anything, but he has the highest rating for a Washington quarterback since Kirk Cousins, which isn't, I mean, he took over for Kirk Cousins. So
yeah, I mean, there's like
but,
Josh Johnson, Mark Sanchez, like there's not too much competition there, but I don't know. My gut tells me New York just because my gut's been telling me New York all week. But I truly believe at this moment, Washington's the better football team with more talent. So
I think if Washington played New York, they'd win. I definitely think that.
Oh,
I don't know is Daniel Jones playing?
I don't know if he's playing this week.
I think so.
Well, Kyler Murray, for two reasons. Get it together because I got a fantasy playoff game, and I have to choose between you and Tom Brady, and I don't know who to pick.
So Kyler's playing New York?
Yeah, and who's a good defense, and then Tom Brady's playing Minnesota, but Tom Brady could just go out and throw one touchdown and them score another way. So I have a dilemma on my hands for the playoffs, but
Don't ask me. I'm a 2-win fantasy team, so
Yeah, me and Mike in the playoffs this week, huh? Look at this.
good
We
for
don't
you.
play each other. We don't play each other, but
I want to make sure everybody knows that I drafted a quarterback in the first round of a standard league by accident and was the highest scoring team in the league. So it can be done.
I just want to say I've drafted Devonte Adams 4 straight years now in the first round.
He's so
and he has
good.
been. I've caught his prime, and I am very thankful for him. I've got 1 championship because of him, hopefully 2. And I want to say, Devonte, if you're listening, I appreciate you, and I'm willing to Venmo you 15% of my earnings after I win the championship this year.
Well, wrapping that up. Speaking of Devonte Adams, so NFL Films has their mic'd up every week, and I watched it, and Big Ben was mic'd up versus the Washington football team, and it was really funny. I watched the extended one because they keep showing the same one on like social media, but I found the YouTube one is like the whole thing, and Big Ben's pretty funny. I didn't know he used this like personality on the field like that. Like he was asking Chase Young, like, "Why are you dropping in coverage?" And Chase Young goes, "I don't know. Ask my coach." That was kind of funny, but yeah, Big Ben's pretty funny. And then Devonte Adams was mic'd up for the Packers, and he was reminding everybody, "Hey guys, Aaron Rodgers is 3 away from 400, so like make sure when you get the ball, like." And he was talking to Tanya and the tight end. He's like, "It's probably me or you that's catching this," and then. He was asking Aaron Rodgers, like, "Oh, you're 3 away, you're 3 away." He's like, he doesn't know. And then Aaron Rodgers is looking away and goes, I know I'm 3 away from 400. But then he caught it and like got on a knee and like handed it to him and made sure he got the ball because James Jones, who works for NFL Network, he tossed the 100th touchdown by Aaron Rodgers into the stands in Atlanta. It was like a 75-yard touchdown, and he just chucked it. And then so even Aaron Rodgers on the sideline was like, "You caught my 200th. Somebody else caught my 300th. You caught my 400th." And then, yeah, JJ just threw mine in the stands. Like, he didn't care. So it was pretty funny. Aaron Rodgers is low-key pretty funny, dude. Yeah. But, all right, so.
Funny. I don't know if you guys saw this on Twitter. Did you see the NFL Films video they did of Tress Way?
I was about to bring that up, too. Yeah, that was great. I haven't seen that before.
I love Tress Way.
No, he's the man. I'm so glad. We actually got at work at NFL for my NFL the social media team. It got requested. They're like, "Hey, can we cross post?" Which cross post means like if somebody else posted on Facebook, we just grab it and repost it on whatever channel. And they're like, "Hey, can we repost this to the NFL account?" And I was like, "Oh, let's go, Tress Way getting some shine." Because they're like, it's blowing. They're like, yeah, because it's blowing up. We want to like capitalize on it. And I'm like, why wouldn't you? It's Tress freaking Way. And they're like, shut up.
Yeah. How old is he? Like 30?
He's 30.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I forgot he signed that. I'm glad he got a $15 million deal. I'm like, good for you.
Yeah.
Tress Way. In high school, Tress Way, I would have had such a crush on him. He was so perfect.
Dude, I didn't know how emotional it was going to. I was like, oh, he's crying. I was like,
yeah.
He's just funny.
I don't know. He kind of looks like, to me, like he looks like he could be a relative of Joey from Friends. Like he kind of has the same.
That's so random that you would say that.
No,
you
hate
on
I
Friends
know,
so much.
And of all people say it, like you would say it, but I think he does kind of look.
That thought never entered my head. I wasn't looking. It's like, oh, you know who he looks like? And I've seen Friends a lot.
Maybe that's just a weird.
But okay, so 49ers game. The 49ers are coming in. I think Nick Mullins is still their starting quarterback. That's enough for me to be like, yeah, we got this. Yeah. But at the same time, and they also the 49ers, they've been screwed. They have to play their games in Arizona because of COVID, and their county or whatever doesn't allow them to play professional games. So they have to go to Arizona and temporary housing and all that stuff. So they're already screwed up and screwed over. So you gotta kind of have to take advantage of that as well. It's a neutral site game. You gotta win. In my opinion, people say, "Oh, no, Antonio Gibson." I'm like, you just beat the Steelers without Antonio Gibson, so there's no excuse for that. But I have them. I'm just gonna. I mean, I don't know if we have any like in-depth preview you want to get into, Joe, but
I mean, we could just
it's a Shanahan
high level
Shanahan game and Trent Williams revenge game. I mean, he's a left tackle. I don't know how much revenge you could do. Actually, I know he can go and destroy somebody if he wanted to, but.
He's going to have to destroy guys like Chase Young, Montez Sweat, Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen. So we'll take our chances.
I
mean,
know.
I could see it being like a grudge match, like a 17-13, we squeak it out type thing.
I know Washington football fans are praying they see Chase Young just somehow bull rush Trent Williams and get to Nick Mullins for a sack. That's what they want.
I don't know. I don't see it, but
It's probably not going to happen because Trent Williams is still maybe the best left tackle in football. But
a hot take. He's had a rough year. That's a hot take. He's had a rough year. That's a hot take. It's not his fault, but I'll take. I'm saying Cornelius Lucas, best left tackle in the game.
He's played well. He actually has played well. He actually, on that screen pass to Cam Sims on a 3rd and I think 14 that set up this one, I think one of their scoring drives, he was out in front. He got to like the 50-yard line from his left tackle position. If they analyze it and they like put a spot shadow on him and he hauled ass.
Yeah, no, he's playing well. I'm just kidding. He's playing well though.
Okay, so we're not going to get into too much because listen, like if you listen to this, it's a day before the game, less than 24 hours. So
there are people out there, Mike, that are waiting.
Our listens have gone up, and our views have gone up, and our subscribers have gone up on YouTube, like we talked about last time.
Finally,
subscribed.
Nice.
Subscribed.
We have I think 62 or 63 subscribers, so 38 to 37 more, and then we can make it easier to find us. But I have the Washington football team winning, which means they're probably going to lose, but winning 27-21.
okay.
It's a lot of points.
Well, the over-under is like set at 43.5 right now. So.
Oh, okay. Makes sense. Well, you got Alex Brady back there. I mean, feel good, man. Last quarter of the season.
You just call him Alex Brady?
Yeah. Who am I supposed to be scared of, by the way? Am I supposed to be scared of San Fran or Carolina, Philly? This is 3-1 written all over it, guys.
Sorry, you got at least 2 in there. Carolina and Philly are must wins because you're a better team than them.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Washington football team.
Okay.
Because I bet against them last week, and
you not only bet against them, you said they were going to lose 27-3 or something.
I learned my lesson, so I'm sorry. I won't do it again.
Okay.
They're going to win, and the final score is going to be 24.
Oh, you froze. Ooh, the suspense.
I couldn't tell if she was frozen or deep.
Wait, you froze. So that was suspense. You said 24.
You were like this too. You were just like this for 7 seconds, and I was like, "Damn, she's really thinking."
On my end, I said it, and then you guys froze. So I was like, "Do I sound like an idiot for what I just said? Like they're not saying anything." I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna rethink that one. Never mind." Okay, 24-17.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, that's the reaction I was looking for before.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, dang, she really contemplating thought here.
No, that makes sense. I can see that.
Joe, did you give one?
Yeah, 17-13 Skins.
Okay.
Or Washington.
All right, so we all picked them. That's the first time ever, probably. I think we all picked them. And usually what that means is they lose. So.
Well, Savannah, if Washington, if you predict everything correctly the rest of the season, you don't have to get a tattoo on your neck.
Wow. Okay. Double or nothing, basically. And if I don't predict it correctly, I'll get it even bigger. All the way down.
Oh, yeah. DC Sports Experience, if you don't get it better.
I'll do a whole at, like DCXP and then at DCXP.
Just the circumference of your neck just gets all the way around.
Like, is that a necklace? Like, no, it's my tattoo. Do you want to subscribe?
Oh, my God. Okay. Well, we're moving on because did something happen with the Wizards? Oh, yeah. John Wall got traded.
Oh, darn.
That guy? That John Wall?
Happened. Oh,
what am I going to do with that?
Sell it. No, don't sell it. Doesn't it have his autograph on it? Isn't that signed?
That's a ticket from his second year in the league. He was nice enough to sign that ticket for me, so I appreciate him for that. I was just a sophomore boy in high school, just looking for a mentor and an idol, and John Wall was there
Well,
for me.
we won't get into it too bad. I think we're going to try to get somebody on possibly that can talk both Washington football and Washington Wizards because this is a big deal. I mean, Russell Westbrook is a Wizard, and it's just weird. Like, it's just weird. I can't. I watched John Wall last night with the Rockets. I was like, oh, that was like my not closure, but it's like, oh, he's not a Wizard anymore. And Russell Westbrook's not even playing in the first preseason game, so we have to wait to watch him play. But yep, that news was broke to me by my coworkers in Slack. I wasn't paying attention to my phone. I was just working, and all of a sudden I see I get a desktop notification, so it comes across the top right of my screen, and it's I see the Twitter link that says Woj, and I'm like, oh, somebody's dropping a Woj bomb. And I click on it, and the first name I read is John Wall. I was like, oh, that's a real tweet. And at first I was like a first rounder, but now it's a heavily protected first rounder, so it's essentially a player for player swap. I'm gonna let Joe talk about it first.
I like it. I like Russ. You know I've liked Russ.
See, we're opposite
Basically,
there. I
his whole
hate his
career.
game.
Yeah, no, I like his game because he's like an energy. Regardless of the on the court stuff, the reality is Russ brings a locker room together better than John Wall does, and that's just my observations.
I agree with
I've been
that.
following the Wizards for my whole life, so it's like, okay, we've had 2 point guards the last 20 years that are highly respected around the league for their play on the court, but when it comes to a locker room, I'd probably rather have Russell Westbrook than John Wall, Gilbert Arenas, name another guy, even Michael Jordan. I'd rather have Russ in my locker room than those guys. So I really like what they're doing. And then, with all the young guys and the young guys that Russ has played with in his career, I just think it's a really good combination of talent and personalities, and even the fact that everybody's from different countries. I really like the feel of this team moving forward. I think they all like each other.
I agree. I think Russell Westbrook, and again, like I just started my Wizards fandom, so I'm very new to this whole train.
Yeah.
I'm like all aboard the Russell Westbrook train. I think he's fun. I like to follow him. He sings. This is the kind of energy that I want around a team. That
I did get that feel. I was like, this is a Savannah player.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, why did people not want him? My whole critique of John Wall was that he was playing spades during an interview. I'm like, disrespectful. He tells people that everyone's too buddy. That's rude. And then Russell Westbrook comes in. He's like, who wants to dance? Who wants to sing? Wants to take pictures? I'm like, my Wizards prayers have been answered. I should have joined this team fam a long time ago. Because apparently what I asked.
Yeah, no, you'd be. Yeah, no, and that's not to take anything away from John, though. I mean, John did a lot for the
Great
city.
guy, hard worker, nice
And
player.
we have to listen. This is the LeBron rule, okay? Anytime you do philanthropy and stuff, you have to announce it, and you have to tell everybody that person does it. So we get the LeBron rule out of the way. But other than that, I mean, Russell's probably a better fit moving forward. So I'm on board with you there.
So I'll say this: he will win you games. I think him and Brad alone will be able to get them to the playoffs because I think he is you don't know what John Wall will be. People were freaking out about John Wall's performance last night. He played really, really well in limited minutes, but also James Harden was not playing, and we don't know how those two are going to play together. Also, James Harden might be traded because he's going to Lil Baby's birthday party, maskless. Did you see the gift he got Lil Baby? Side note, he gave him 100 G's in cash and then like a super expensive, I think, chain. Yeah. And I was like, what? Let me get friends that just give me a duffel bag of cash.
You got to get guys that make 40 million a year to do
that. Anyway, so I've never liked Russell Westbrook's game because he always jacks up bad shots. Like, for example, with Kevin Durant, who's the best scorer I think I've ever seen play, he wouldn't give him the ball when he needed to give him the ball, and Russell Westbrook would take him on himself, take bad shots, and I've just never – I think he's a stat patter.
We could go back and forth all
day. But my point is this. I didn't think he was a good basketball fit with Bradley Beal. I think he doesn't have near the court vision John Wall does. But I'll say this might work for another reason that's not discussed, because Russell Westbrook didn't get along with Kevin Durant for multiple reasons. But one of the things was their off-court personalities. Russell Westbrook is as crazy as he is on the court. He is a low-key family dude. Like, just wants to chill off the court. That's what I've like heard, and you can kind of see on Instagram. He's like, he loves his family. He's a family guy. Kevin Durant apparently was kind of not that. I mean, he doesn't have a family. Apparently, I've heard stories about him, flying in Instagram models and going out in the club life, that kind of stuff. They probably didn't mesh on the court because of what that happened, and then off the court, they probably didn't hang out. John Wall was similar to KD. He kind of likes the club life and going out and having fun. Now he has 2 kids now, but it really hasn't stopped him from having some fun. And Bradley Beal is a low-key, chill family guy. I think Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook off the court will mesh, and I think that will ultimately possibly help them on the court be able to figure out their differences when Bradley Beal is like wide open and Russell Westbrook decides to take a shot like 5 seconds into the shot clock. Like that's going to happen. Yeah. I think Bradley Beal is a more mature player to deal with it, hopefully. So that's why I think it might work. The other thing I wanted to say was I discounted or underestimated Russell Westbrook's like star power. And what I mean by that is I never pegged him as one that had like a horde of a following. That's the wrong word, not horde. Like he has one of those like, hey, wherever he goes, his fans go. I never really pegged him as that because I guess he's been in OKC so long. But when he got traded, the video of him practicing first on YouTube, these YouTube videos, if you go look at the Washington Wizards YouTube page, all these videos are like 2,000 views, 5,000 views, 2,000 views. Russell Westbrook's first day of practice, 1.4 million views to watch him run around a couple seconds.
That's what he does.
I had 1,200 comments, and like the top comment was, "Oh, we're all Russell Westbrook stands now with the Wizards." I was like, "This is crazy." The Wizards gained like a whole following based on just that.
We wanted that though from guys like Brad and John. We never got that.
And also Bradley Beal. I actually commented this from the DC account on Twitter under Bleacher Report because they keep posting Russ content, and I just go. I think I said Russ is getting the Wizards more national attention in the last 3 days than they've got in the last 3 years. And it got like 70 likes on Twitter. I guess I got in there early enough for a top comment, but it's true. I've never seen this much attention around. And like John Wall kind of was getting it with the Rockets. They were like, oh, John Wall and his new threads. Because him and Boogie Cousins both coming back from injury. They got some love last night. But man, it's crazy. It's weird. The Wizards have national attention now, even though they have 0 national TV games, but that happened.
And before. I'm happy, by the way, that it's, sorry to cut you off, I'm happy it's positive attention, like positive energy, positive attention. This team's in need of that. And I'm also thankful that we don't have like a super dramatic point guard like Kyrie Irving on our team because, oh my God. Did you guys hear what he said the other day?
Well, I know he's not talking to the media.
He said, right, he called them pawns. He said, I don't talk to pawns. That's what he called the media. And he put out 3 statements saying how he's not going to talk to the media this season. But the last one was even NBA players are calling him pretty disrespectful for that. I mean, God, I'm happy he's not my player. That's all I'm saying. He's just, and him and Kevin Durant, back to your point with Russ and Kevin, I think Kevin likes to hang out with guys like Kyrie Irving who just come up with excuses to not do things the right way. And it's really annoying. But I'm very pleased that we got a guy with the character of Russell Westbrook on our team.
No, and there's again, he is a good dude. I mean, I didn't really follow him as like a person because obviously he didn't play on the Washington. Like I didn't really like know him as a person. I know him as this crazy on court guy who takes bad shots and can shoot you out of games. Like that's how I viewed him. Who is still ultra athletic. There's a funny meme somebody made because Denny Avdia, who seems very like he wants to learn
so far.
What are you talking about?
I love him so far.
There's that video of him and Brad talking when Brad was mic'd up, which is just content I love to see. Inject that into my veins, as they say. But there's this photo of Denny talking to Russ. You see it? And the meme is Russ starts to talk. He goes, "What position you play?" Teammate goes, "Shooting guard," even though that's not right. But Russ goes, "Cool. Ain't nobody shooting the ball but me and Brad, so you should find something else to do."
It's true. I'll be curious to see how many shots they put up together. I mean, It'll be a
Well,
fun season. I'm excited. If there was a way to get season tickets, we would probably have those by
well,
now, right, Mike?
yeah, maybe. I I don't know. I don't know. I think they're gonna make the playoffs. I'm wondering still who's gonna start the three because people keep saying like Chris Miller said that it's gonna be Denny or he thinks it's gonna be Denny, and I hear Chase Hughes on the radio. Shoot, if we can get Chase Hughes on, I'll argue with this. Like he keeps putting out the bad numbers of Denny shooting, and I'm like, no, mention that he shot 35% on more attempts. I he's like he's on the radio twice now. Chase, if you're listening, you keep saying 27%. That was with limited number of attempts. He shot 35%. I'm just saying, people are overblown his shooting.
Shout out to Chase, Quentin Mayo, and Chris Miller though. They're killing it in these pressers. They're getting people what they need to hear, and we appreciate you. So thank you so much.
But with that said, I love you, Chase, and yeah, we'll probably try to have you on. But to dispel that myth. Also, speaking of his shooting, I think Rui told people his shooting reminds them of Davis Bertans, and I was like, let's pump that.
Pump the brakes.
Let's relax.
If he shoots like Davis Bertans, then like we probably got the best player in the draft.
And then to quick touch on a couple more things with the Wizards before we move on. I really like what Tommy Shepard did with this whole Rui Denny thing because, it looks like Rui's more of like a 4-3, like power forward, small forward type of hybrid. And then Denny's more of like a 3-4, so small forward, power forward hybrid. And I think just having those two guys compete, it just brings the energy up on the team. And I really do like what they're doing there. I mean, I don't know what you feel about that, Mike, but having that open competition, it's
I
really
like
cool
it.
having like all these young guys.
I think Denny should
competing for the
start
same thing.
because when people I think put too much stock into starting, it's like you could start the game, but you may not finish the game. Like it's not like you start the game, that means you're going to finish. No, like you might start the game, get 15, 20 minutes, and the guy coming off the bench gets 21 to 25 minutes. Like that's how sometimes it works. So I think Denny could start because he's a guy who can maybe hit the spot up three, also can play make. He's very smart, moves without the ball, and guys like Russ and Brad will find him. And then Troy Brown could come off the bench with like Davis Bertans and stuff like that. And that unit, I feel like, Scott Brooks has his hands full with how he does that. But I'm just disappointed that Russell Westbrook's not playing in the game tomorrow because it's like all I was looking for, like that and the Washington football team. And I'm like, oh, I can't wait to watch Russell Westbrook play. Oh, never mind.
That's okay.
But also they're playing tomorrow. It's Saturday right now. They're playing on Sunday. If anybody didn't know that, I don't know exactly what time, but they are playing the Brooklyn Nets, I think. Anyway,
Yeah.
so yeah, we'll have probably more Wizards talk as the season gets closer. But now,
do we want to touch on the biggest? You cut out for a second. Sorry.
Oh no. Go ahead.
I was going to say, are we going to touch on the biggest story of the week here, Bachelorette?
Yeah. So I had to. We didn't talk about it last episode because I was super behind. So I binge watched 3 episodes last night, which was hard to do when you can't skip ads. That's really annoying.
Oh yeah, it's brutal.
I'm just like, but some of the ads were like 10 seconds. Like if you watched I watched on Hulu. If you watch on like YouTube TV, like they make like every ad like 5 minutes. I'm like, I'm not doing that. So some of the ads were short enough where it was bearable, but I ate 2 dinners during this time stretch. Like that's how long this took. So I'm all caught up. I have my notes, not as much as I usually take, but so I don't know where to start. We're gonna try to.
I don't know where to start either.
Keep
I was
this.
gonna say, what even happened 2 episodes ago?
Okay, so I think I'm trying to find the sticky note where I wrote this down.
You've gone through the whole cycle of her, like us thinking Brendan was the number 1, and now it's is it Zach? And
Okay, here we go. So
Riley?
I this is what I wrote down. Okay, I'm gonna literally write down, or I'm gonna read you each note line how I wrote it. So it's just to me how I did it. I said truth or dare, best orgasm, Noah drama, Bennett beef, Ben 2:30 a.m., Ed wrong place, wedding photos, easy no, Bennett screwed, Noah sucks, Tic Tacs poured in the mouth. What the F was that? Zach 6th grade story, is he lying? Bennett all caps.
Okay.
So let me read. So the truth or dare, best orgasm, which just sounds weird, when they had to pick up the phone and then for a minute
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
I thought
That
you were saying like who you think has the best orgasm. I was like,
no,
I don't know, Mike.
that was grade A comedy. I laughed out
That
loud
was
when
good.
I realized they were broadcasting it to the other guys, basically, who had no idea what was going on. And then the other guys picked up on the voices and were like, I think Easy said, it's like, damn, Blake's got some demons.
Yeah, Blake's the best. I love Blake.
So the thing is, just we can go back to like more broad stuff, but Blake went during that challenge. I could like Kenny already went. Kenny did his minute, and
Okay.
Blake like he grabs the phone, and you could tell he's just like, I have to commit, and he like picks up like smacks the table and just
Oh,
like goes to town. Like he had physical emotions with it, and I was like, yeah, good job, Blake. Good job. You sold that one pretty good. But yeah, the guys that had to listen to it, they're like, what the hell is going on?
what was Bennett's line when he was doing his, or was it Ben? Or sorry, Blake when he was doing his. He said like a line that he would say, and I was like, that is the most ridiculous thing. He's like,
I,
are we doing good or something? Fucking
no, that was
ridiculous.
Bennett. Bennett was like super like nerdy with his. He
Yeah,
said
that
some
was
weird
really
lines. I was
really
like, what?
cringe.
Um,
It's good stuff though.
but
Great.
yes. So I don't remember. It's hard to go back 3 episodes, but uh, so they had the truth or dare challenges. I'm trying to think of what happened during that episode in particular. Oh, there's Noah drama with Bennett, who.
Oh my god.
First of all, I'm just gonna say it. Noah sucks. Noah really does suck to me.
Wow.
No, he sucks.
You've been a
He's
Bennett guy this
he-
whole time
he's
though, right?
no Bennett. I'll say this: Bennett is annoying, but Noah literally lied to
Hold
her.
on. In this whole thing though, between outside of those two, Ed Ed is the worst in my
Ed
opinion.
sucks, yeah, but we're talking
I
about
hate
Noah.
that.
Noah lied to
You
Tasha.
do you hate Ed too?
Yes, Ed sucks.
Yeah. He
I've
just fucking
never liked
bitches
Ed.
about people and he doesn't do anything. He just sits there.
I was shocked Ed made it that far. I'm shocked that Ed got that one of those rose ceremonies because he's now gone. But Noah lied to Tasha, and nobody I was like, you guys can correct this by saying that never happened. He said nobody questioned her integrity or whatever. Or
Huh.
he said, oh, you just gave me this rose for show. I'm like, nobody ever said that.
He stretched the truth for sure talking about that. I think in his little Noah brain, he thought he was going to say that Tasha was going to be like, I chose you for a reason, Noah. And they were going to make out on the couch. I don't think that he thought by telling her that she was going to literally go confront all the guys and be like, who's questioning my integrity? I literally thought he was going to do it to make a cute moment out of it of please reassure me, Tasha, that you like me. He didn't mean for it.
That's a good
uh,
psychiatrist way of put it. If we're going to Noah's head.
I think that's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I buy that.
Nice.
I think Noah knew what he was doing, and it did screw out a lot of guys with time. So I don't know, and I know Bennett was being petty, but some of Bennett's lines to Noah are so funny. Like when I'm trying to skip ahead now, but when he kicked him out of the seat, sitting next, he kicked him. He's like, I'm actually supposed to be sitting there. He's like, you just made that up. No, you're not. And he's like, no, I'm not messing with you right now. Like, he just gets up. I was like, oh, dude, Bennett, that's a pretty alpha move right there. And then making out with her blindfolded.
Straight out of a book, his moves,
It's a little too calculated, if you ask me.
What was going on? I'm trying to think. I'm just scatterbrained because I just watched 3.5 hours.
Speaking of this, where Bennett kicks her out of the seat to paint or whatever they're doing, that date got a little too dark for me.
That's what I meant to say.
Quickly.
Oh yeah.
There was it seems like they're going. Every episode had a super dark moment, and I was
that happens every season where guys open up to Tasha or whoever the Bachelor or Bachelorette is. You have a moment where you tell them, this is why I am the way that I am.
So is this kind of like The Voice where you only can get on the show if you have some crazy past?
It used to not be. It used to just be I'm just bad at love. Ha ha. And now it's getting progressively more dark.
This is just an
Yeah.
aside because of that. Did you hear the story of how Luke Combs wasn't invited on the live shows of The Voice or the audition because he's, quote, not interesting enough? Because I don't know if anybody knows this about The Voice. You don't just like show up and do this. You have to go through like multiple auditions behind the scenes, kind of like American Idol. And he said he crushed every single one. Like his first audition, he's like the only dude, and he like crushed it. He got to like the third one, and they basically sent him a letter saying, "Hey, you were great and all, but you're just not interesting enough for us. You can't come on the show because they have to go have a sob story or whatever." He's just like, "I'm just a normal dude with a great voice," and now he's the number one, in my opinion, country artist out there right now. So yeah, it's weird that I'm just not. I said that because it's relatable to the show. It's like, do they now have to have like, hey, do you have some crazy stuff you're hiding up, like a failed suicide attempt?
And do you want to talk about it on national television? Cool.
He didn't even tell his sister.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I guess we're gonna go deep. It's like, oh, Jesus, I didn't know we were gonna go that deep.
And want to preface this whole thing by like, I appreciate Ben sharing that. That's an important topic to touch on. I'm glad he's able to talk about it now and is in a better place. No, nothing against Ben in the slightest. More in producers, that is messed up to make someone talk about that on national television that hasn't told their sister, and you know they're doing it because it sounds good.
Yeah, and what if Tasha's probably like, oh shit. I don't know how
I've known her for like 2 weeks at this point, right?
Yeah, you know this person for 2 weeks. They said they almost committed suicide. I don't know if I would be like, I don't know if I can marry you eventually. Like that's kind of risky to me.
It's just a lot to like pin someone's trauma and be like, let's talk about your trauma and then still see if I want to date you while I'm getting to know you. But now most of the things I know about you are your deepest, darkest demons.
Yeah.
And
it
then,
seems like she's like evaluating who has the darkest past, and she's just gonna kind of pivot from those people. Like, I don't know. It's kind of it's tough for those guys.
I forget what I don't fall for the producer teases anymore, but there was one that actually got me. I'm trying to think of it.
When she was walking away from Zach at the
that might have been it.
Because that wasn't like hostile at all, but they showed like her walking away from Zach, and he's just like, ah. But it was like a completely different scenario.
It was her walking away.
Does anybody remember that?
It was her walking away from the group, but his actual thing, because that's from the lie detector. Because when they had the lie detector, by the way, that lie detector, a couple things, looked like they bought it at Toys R Us. The other thing is, you don't take a lie detector test and just have anybody strap that stuff on. Like, you need to answer yes or no questions. Like, that was not a real lie detector test. Like, can we make sure we know that?
Oh no!
Screen that was literally doing like the lifeline in a hospital. Was that like bouncing across the screen?
Yeah. Producers are on the back, like waiting to press the green button, like after 3 seconds.
They're like, oh,
yeah,
so
no.
And I was gonna say with the Zach thing, because he said, "Have you ever cheated before?" And he's like, "Yes." And he got me pretty good with his story. And he's like, it was a Bolorama. I was like, okay, that's weird. It's like, and I French kissed her when I was still dating Emmy. He's like, that was my 6th grade. I was like, it's like, oh, so, I mean, I think, you know, if you kissed another girl, it's technically cheating too. But it's like, oh, I was like, that's it. Like, and I was like, 6. Oh, 6. Okay, that's hilarious. Like, it's like, good job, even though I feel like that would be something a really good writer would throw into a script. But if that's how funny and clever you are, then I think he's lying, though. I think he actually did cheat or something, and that's why he said yes. I don't know.
Maybe.
We'll find out soon.
And he was able to be like, or he said yes because he has, and he was able to be that clever on the spot and be like, okay, I'm just going to make up some crazy 6th grade story.
I think you're reading too much into that.
I'm not trying to. I'm just, hey, if he's that clever on the spot, that's pretty sociopathic. But
I'm just really pissed off at producers of all of Bachelor, and I get this way every season. But the fact that they definitely talked to Riley before the polygraph exam to say, here are the questions we're going to ask you. Is there any reason you would fail these? And he's like, well, I guess technically, like, I changed, or they know that he changed his name legally. And then for him to fail the question of, did you change your name? And then it'd be like this whole big storyline. Like, dude's been through some stuff. That's technically his legal name, but then the producers in the back like, he's lying.
Yeah.
Press the red light bulb.
Yeah, I just want to know how that was done.
I mean, I didn't know what his past was in the producer teasers. I was like, did Riley kill somebody? Like, Jesus. He's like, is this the day I'm gonna let it go? Crying. I was like, oh man, we're in for an episode here, but just a name change, which is kind of crazy. But
so Easy. I'm trying to just get through these little points. Easy had a really good date and then got just told to go home.
No. Easy did not have a great date and then told her to go home. Easy told her that he was falling in love with her and then got sent home. Easy watched one too many episodes of this show, knew on your one-on-one, he's kind of late in the season. It's about that time the guys are going to start saying they're falling in love with her. And he's like, this is my time. I got to say it. He doesn't mean it. He's a liar. And she saw through it.
Oh, I know. Oh, I think they're all lying. I don't think anybody's
you think he's a liar?
Easy does not love Tayshia. He likes the idea that he'd stick around another week. I love Easy.
No, yeah.
The same
Easy
way that
was
he
good.
loves
Easy.
Tayshia.
I think when you send Easy home for saying that and then keep a guy like Noah who's just clearly immature, I'm sorry. I'm with Bennett on that one.
Oh, he's going to be sent home next week, right?
He doesn't make hometowns. There's no way.
Here's the thing. There's that shot of Noah getting ready in the mirror before he has to sit down with Bennett and Tayshia. So he's like in the mirror. I remember there was a teaser back when Tayshia first took over, and it previewed the hometowns, and it was like a dad saying like, this guy's not right for you. And it was Noah checking himself in the mirror. I'm like, is he going to make it that far? So I wonder if that's actually foreshadowing Noah being that guy, if they just straight up gave that away, even though it was a different scene they were showing.
I know. I don't know, but I know who the hometowns are going to be. I feel like it's pretty obvious.
Okay.
Oh, yeah?
No, there's some obvious.
Zach, Ben, Brendan, and Ivan.
Yeah. Ivan has a good has had good dates with her.
Yeah.
By the way, I want to be
very
Ivan's friend.
deep that
Ivan
one
seems so
time.
cool.
Yeah, Ivan's cool. He was crying.
Ivan's
his
just
eyes out
nice.
That one day.
Yeah.
He's just a
Ivan,
nice
he's
guy.
just a good dude.
And here's the thing: if he loses, he's just on another list of nice guys that finish last.
No, he's gonna be top 3.
Well, Joe, you had Jason winning, so
Yeah.
I don't even know why Jason got sent home. I feel like he kind of got targeted there.
He already had beef with what's his face, Ed, and
He got targeted. He got shafted. That was BS. He's gonna be back. He's gonna be the Bachelor.
But
No, he's gonna run paradise. He'll
Do
have
we
a
think-
grand old vacation.
I hope Bennett gets in
You will. Oh,
wait a second.
Can we just talk about the fact that Bennett is actually a psychopath?
Wait a second. Hold on. Before we get to that, I was gonna say real quick because we can wrap some of these points up. Did anybody think the wedding photo thing was creepy?
Yeah, that was super weird.
I was like,
never do that in my life.
Nope. Sorry.
It's bad luck. You're not supposed to put a wedding dress on before actually getting married.
Especially when you know someone for 2 weeks.
Unless you're Claire and Dale.
What are they doing?
But it ran in their family. It's like, hey, I met your mom and hitchhiked 3 weeks later to propose to her.
Oh yeah, what the hell was that about? Both their families hitchhiked.
Anyway, so yeah, Bennett came back. I want to know how that works because he got sent home. How does that work? Savannah, you tell me.
Okay, let me break it down for you. This is how this went. Bennett gets sent home. Bennett's walking through the little, I'm going to call it a campus or whatever it is, a little campus that they're all on. He's so distraught. He's like, how did I, Bennett, a Harvard grad, get sent home? I am better than Tayshia. She doesn't see that. How dare she? I won't be embarrassed like this on television. I'll get the last word. So he over to producers and said, I love her. I have to tell her. If I don't tell her, my heart's going to explode out of my chest. And they said, wow, if you say it just like that, we'll let you back on TV, my friend. And he said,
wow.
So he slept in one of the other buildings. Nobody knew. And there he was, planted by producers.
Very calculated, man.
Well, his before they met with Tasha, his back and forth with Noah, I thought was kind of funny. He gave him the gift, and I think here's the thing: I think he is condescending, but I don't. I think he actually was being like, "Hey, Noah, like you're super immature. If you want to ever be like good enough to be a dad, like read this." Like I think he was actually being. It's weird. I'm trying like to, because he's being condescending. I don't think he knows he's being condescending, but he's actually trying to be helpful. So, and Noah just was like, "Screw you, dude." Like Noah. And then here's the thing: Noah played super victim when he met with Tasha about it. He was like, "He's just being mean to me," and then he started crying, and I was like, "Oh my god, you gotta be kidding me!" And then I knew when he did that, and he's like, he just throws these jabs, and I can't take him anymore." And then I knew right there that he was gonna at least not be sent home. I was like, "Oh, she's definitely gonna." Oh, when he pulled he's gonna be condescending to you or whatever. I was like, "Yep, that was the silver bullet right
jab
there."
by Noah there. That's very, very good job by him.
That was a good silver bullet. So then, and also they were really in earshot of like they showed where Bennett was sitting while they were talking, and I was like, that's like earshot. If I heard something shit like bad about me, I'd be like, I'm getting up to clarify that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think the Bennett thing's gonna like. I think he's not gonna win the thing.
No, I think that she'll let him back for the rose ceremony, and then she'll send both Noah and Bennett home.
That makes sense. Also, the other jab when they were at the art thing, when he's like, "How do you spell privileged there?" And I forgot that Bennett had like a spelling issue in the earlier episode, and I was like, man, I want to know Bennett's background because he was very adamant about not like growing up like wealthy or privileged. So I wonder what his background is.
I can tell you exactly what it is: wealthy and privileged.
You think so? What happens if he was like super poor and unfortunate and then like made him a Harvard grad?
Regardless, he's kind of a dick, right? So
Yeah. I'll come and apologize on this podcast, but for now, I'm pretty stand firm that he's a dick.
But okay, before we like wrap this up, I want to say when he says to Noah, "There's 4 elements of emotional intelligence, and you're deficient in 3." I was like, "Yo."
I'm using that line at every bar from here on out. Like, there's 4 elements of emotional intelligence. You're deficient in 3. Goodbye.
Yeah, that's how you tell off a guy, and he's like, "What are you talking about? Like, what elements?" I was like, "I don't know, but you're deficient in 3 of them."
Yeah.
Deficient in 3.
I couldn't even tell you it was like self-awareness, social awareness. I don't remember them.
Who knows?
But
it's a good line.
Anyway.
Okay, here are you guys' final 4. I gave mine.
Wait a second. Savannah, you cut out there.
So is Bennett
I said,
back?
who's your final 4?
Okay.
Pretend Bennett's back at the rose ceremony. So you have Bennett, Noah, Ivan, Zach C, Brendan, Ben, Blake.
Wait, Bennett, Noah, Ivan, Brendan,
Blake's still
Blake.
there. I can't believe it. I feel like Blake hasn't even said anything to her this whole time.
Wait, Bennett, Noah, Ivan, Brendan, Ben, Zach. So there's going to be a rose ceremony where only 4 are chosen? Okay.
And Blake has to have his one-on-one with her, so.
Okay. I think Brendan and Ivan and Zach are locks.
Okay.
So, Brendan, Ivan, Zach. That means I have Ben, Blake, Noah, and Bennett.
I think Zach's gonna get sent home. It's gonna be the heartbreak of the season. And
she told him she was falling in love with him.
Fuck, I know, but she's gonna have to make a decision, and it's gonna be Ivan, Ben, Bennett, and
I think the Ben.
Ivan, Ben, Bennett. Who am I missing? Ivan, Ben, Bennett, and not Zach. Brendan, yes. I think it's going to be Brendan at the end of it.
But I like that. I like Brendan as her final.
I can't believe Blake's still there. I'll say it again. Like Blake, I love Blake. I'm so happy he's my favorite. but he has just had zero contact.
Oh wait,
with her.
Spencer got sent home.
The worst performing first impression rose of The Bachelorette ever.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Like
I
someone
forgot
actually
he got a
black and
first
white.
impression rose.
Spencer.
He made it 4 weeks, which is the same amount of time that Dale and Claire knew each other. So he had ample opportunity, and he did not.
Yeah.
He just seemed like a cardboard cutout of just like a pretty boy who said good things, though. He didn't really do anything.
No, he was just there.
He was just
So,
there.
no.
He was nice to look at for people.
Yeah.
So Ivan, Brendan, Zach. I don't know who. I think it's gonna be Blake.
And Blake, interesting.
So, with that said, I think Brendan or Ivan's gonna win because I think even though she likes Zach, I think the age thing's gonna be like, oh, you are also like 7 years older than me. So, and then Brendan's like my age, and Ivan's a little younger, I guess. Wait, how old's Ivan?
Ivan's younger. He's like 26 or 27.
Okay,
26.
he's also an air, isn't he? Like a what
aerospace
engineer is he?
engineer.
Yeah, so
He probably makes some good money too. At least I
Probably
think
does.
those people make good money.
I think so. I have Ivan 4, Ben 3, Zach 2, Brendan 1.
Yeah, I don't know if how I ranked them. I think Brendan. You said Ivan 4,
Ivan 4.
so I think I have Ivan 2, Brendan 1.
Brendan's
Zach
my
3,
1,
Blake
Ivan's
4.
my 2. Yeah.
Okay, so we all have Brendan as our unanimous winner, which means he won't win.
Yeah. It's probably we got another dark story coming out next episode.
Yeah, he hasn't said
Brendan.
anything weird.
He was married before. That's his only.
I
That's
feel
his
like that's a theme. Everybody's been married.
I don't even look into that as much. I mean,
Oh, good for you. You tried it out, didn't work. Thanks for
Zach
playing.
had some crazy stuff brought up that I was like, oh, okay.
Recovering drug addict. I mean, again, good for you. Thank you for sharing your story. I'm happy you're here.
Also, when she asked him earlier in the season, I was like, how are you 36 and single? Well, a big chunk of my years I don't remember them. That's essentially.
But like that's how a relationship works. At first, you don't tell them everything, and then it slowly comes out. But when you're on this expedited relationship train, where it's like, I have to tell you this before we get engaged in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think the Ben thing scared. Like, I think if somebody told me that they commit or failed suicide, I'd be like, nah, I can't. Like, that would freak me out enough to be like, yeah, I'm gonna send you home. But
damn, son.
No,
not even gonna get to know them, see how they change or anything, or just.
He also was in the military. Those guys have PTSD. Like, that'd be a lot to handle.
Yeah.
We did all forget about Riley.
Oh wow.
My God.
I don't think he's
Riley's right there. I think I would replace Ben with Riley on mine.
I think she asked him about the attorney thing and how he would have time, and I don't think he said the right answer, but I think he's an attorney. Like, he's not going to have time. Like, that's just like the life of that profession. So I think she knows that in the back of her head. So I don't think Riley's going to win.
It doesn't change my answer. I just can't believe we all actually forgot about it.
Yeah, that's crazy. Brendan, Ivan, Riley, and I can't remember my fourth. Bennett. Those are my top 4.
Not Zach? Oh.
No, I don't like Zach. I don't know why he's still there. I know they're falling in love, but I don't see it going well. A little bit of a liar. With the
All right.
grade
Well,
cheating.
also there's a couple of funny things. Ben did his like 2:30 in the morning walk over to her place, and Ed did too. But Ed went to Chris Harrison's house or Chris Harrison's room, which I thought they were gonna. I was like, there's no way they meet up. Like, there's no way they like run into each other or something like that. So. But then the other thing was just that short scene of Noah chugging Tic Tacs. Like, what was it? He's just like,
That's just his personality.
That's a kid that knows he's about to go kiss Tasha, so he's like, let me get myself
Also,
right. Because if you
here's the
saw
thing.
this last episode, Ed was putting Listerine strips on. Like, he did like 3 of them in a row. And like, Ed, who are you kissing? Relax.
Dude.
I'll end
Kissing
on this.
the weights.
Tasha should have known she made a mistake in terms of who she sent home with Bennett and Noah when she walked in the room after sending Bennett home And the first thing she sees is Noah just going like, ha, 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 ha. I was like, you should know right there. Like, the guy is an immature idiot. So, whatever. Also, really, do you really think Noah, who's 25 and acts like that, is ready for marriage? I would say no.
I'm gonna go with no. I think he's ready to have a really public engagement, though.
Oh yeah, he wants those Instagram followers,
Yeah, he does.
as we say. Okay. Well, any other notes?
Just can't wait for next episode.
Gosh, I'm on.
It's a back-to-back episode, right?
Oh yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday, I think, or Monday, Tuesday, 1 and 2.
Monday, Tuesday.
Ooh. Okay.
Ooh.
All right.
Ooh.
Well, with that said, any other final notes?
Nope. Let's go. Let's go Washington. Let's go Wizards. Let's go Nats. Let's bring someone in. Let's figure it out, guys. We got championships down the line, and just got to watch it play out.
Make sure you subscribe to YouTube. It's in the link in Instagram, DC Sports XP on Instagram and Twitter. I'm done talking. Are you guys done talking?
I'm done. I think we got it all out of our system.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
All right.
Bye.
Till next time.
Bye.